Hey, what's going on, everyone? Justin here. So, wanted to supply another update on the Lotus. I already mentioned it in previous videos, but I've been dealing with these bugs, and basically, it's just it's not something you normally think about, right? When you're buying a used car, something that's been sitting, you're worried about mechanical attributes, right? If things are going to be seized up, if bolts are going to be rusted, if you're going to have body rust, corrosion, stuff of that nature. So this is definitely not something I normally would have expected, but it's just a fact, right? So it's a car that's been sitting, and no matter what I do, I seem to still find bugs in my garage. So this morning, kind of grossed out, I found a cockroach underneath the car. So I'll kind of show you what I'm dealing with and then to do about it. But basically, I've gone through every nook and cranny in this car. I mean everything, and I've used the bore scope and kind of went into all the little crevices and behind the dash and in holes and even stuff like this. I've gone in there and I've scrubbed basically every inch of this car because I really wanted to be clean before I start putting the interior in. But I noticed that there was some mouse droppings in here, right? So I pulled this gasket up, trying to figure out where the hell this cockroach came from, and you can see there's a couple of droppings in there. And kind of deal with it, I've put roach traps in here. So I have roach traps, glue traps, roach bait. I have them all over my garage, right? I have stuff under my toolbox. I found a roach under here earlier. I have a motion sensing camera that I have set at night with high sensitivity so that I'll know if anything's crawling around in here, hopefully. So I'm kind of freaked out. Wife's not happy. I really don't want these things getting into the house. And funny enough, I was recording a video on this issue, and as I'm doing the video, a roach ran out from underneath the car, I guess, and got stuck on one of the glue traps. So I was kind of mortified, embarrassed, didn't want to include that in the video, but hey, whatever. It's just something I have to deal with. But I still can't find out where the hell these things are coming from. So I did find one in the trunk originally. I think I found two in here. I fogged the car. I fogged the garage twice. But now what I'm thinking is, especially since I got those mouse droppings, I'm thinking that they are underneath, basically where those bolts are. That is to the fuel tank, and so I'm gonna drop that panel. Unfortunately, the quick jacks that I got are in the way, and so I'll have to deal with that. But it is what it is at this point. So I'm gonna drop the car down. I'll use a regular floor jack on the supporting pads, the lifting points here. I'm going to drop that panel and I'm going to see what I find. Stay tuned. All right, well, I'm going to spare you the time lapse of pulling the bottom of the tray, but I'll just point out, if you have a Lotus, you already know that there's really no easy way to jack these things up. I have two jack stands. One is in case something fails, kind of hanging out on the rear subframe. I have the one on the lifting point on the front, and then I have wood holding the rear tire up, and I think that's safe enough. I had it up like this when I was doing work on the car before, so I'm pretty confident in it. Anyway, I'm just going to pull this pan. I'll start the video back up when I get it down. It's 10 millimeter. I got it, my trusty impact driver, so I'm just going to pull the hardware down and then start the recording right before I drop the pan, because I would imagine that there's going to be some nastiness in here. So anyway, stay tuned. All right, well, that wasn't too bad. It took about 5 minutes. There were a couple of bolts that were damaged. I had to use a box wrench on them for bottoming out. But I left one bolt on the far end. So I'm going to take that one out first, and then I'm going to take out the one closest over here. No idea what to expect, so I'm going to tackle this from the rear to get that one bolt, the far one, and then I'll grab the other one closer to here. I'll leave the camera running so you can see what's going to drop out. No idea what might still be alive. So, start with this one. All right. You see some larvae. Looks like wasp nests. Now the close bolt. down. Okay, I was expecting, you know what? I guess now I should have known better. I was expecting a cavity in here, but of course, it's taken up by the fuel tank. However, like this close. Let's see what we got. Looks like just some wasp stuff. Yeah, and I found a bunch of this. They still have live larvae in it when I was running water over it to dissolve it in the sink, just to get rid of it. There was some stuff that was still crawling around in there. But so far, no roaches. So I guess that's a good thing. Let's take the camera and take a peek. Nope. It's kind of cool though, the construction in here. But I'm not seeing anything, so okay. I'm gonna poke around some more, but this is good news. At least I feel a little bit better now that I'm uncovering like every nook and cranny. So gonna get this cleaned up. I'll poke my head around, I'll get a borescope, and I'll update with any other surprises. Thanks. All right, well, at this point, I've officially pulled off every panel on the car within reason, right? Just to make sure that this is extra clean. And, you know, you could see, like, even this, you know, the fuel connection, I guess, panel, whatever, access panel, there's mouse poop in there, right? There's just, every time I pull up a panel, I pull a piece of insulation off, whatever, I'm just finding stuff behind it. So, anyway, I'm just going to continue to spray down the car. People that know me know that I'm super anal. I'm a very clean person, and this is kind of like my nightmare, but I'll get through it. It'll be all right. I'm just going to have to make sure it's extra clean. And so I'm hitting everything with a vacuum and compressed air and blowing everything out of the nooks and crannies and just trying to take care of it. I also wanted to point out some of the hardware around the body. This is M8 by 1.25 millimeter thread pitch. It's 20 millimeters long. This is a very common piece of hardware that's used throughout this. It's usually either this with the flanged nut, flanged head, or it's the socket head, like these ones over here. Mostly M8, some M6. And so I just went ahead and ordered a bunch of pieces of this, 50 pieces of this off of Amazon in stainless 304. Underneath the access panels that are held up by this is about, I don't know, 16 or so. I'm just going to replace them all with stainless. I figure that's a good idea, especially since it's underneath the car. Don't want this stuff rusting and then presenting a problem later. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Put stainless where applicable, you know, even stuff like this. It's inside. I'm never going to see it once the seats are in, but I know it'll be there, and I just want to make sure that it's stainless, so it'll never be a problem. Anyway, this is really all I'm going to do today is just continue wiping this down, making sure the interior is absolutely spotless before I proceed with putting any of the interior bits back. So, yeah, roach-free, no longer going to be referred to as the Roach Coach, and I'm just going to spray everything down, sanitize, and then eventually start moving some of the bits back in here. So stay tuned for that. All right, since I'm going to be detailing the inside of the car one last time in prep for putting down the insulation, just wanted to cover some of the tools of the trade that I've been used to using. First, I have a huge Husky compressor. This thing has come with me a long way. I've had it about 8 years now. I dragged it over from my old house. It's awesome. It's a 60-gallon. I use it all the time. It's great. Hose reel, Goodyear, awesome. I have a filtration system on it. So that's cool. There's your compressor. Next best thing I ever got was this garage wall-mounted Bissell Garage Pro. It's awesome. From a shop vac, it's got a 50-foot hose on it. It's a wet dry vac. Maybe not the best filtration system, but it's great. I use it for cleaning all of my cars constantly. I use it for cleaning the garage. Definitely a must-have, especially if you have mild OCD like I do. Stuff that I'm going to be using to clean the car after I'm done vacuuming, I'll use this blowgun. This is a nice quality blowgun. It's not a Harbor Freight one. I've noticed with cheaper blowguns that they tend to have restrictions in them. and they don't have a nice feel to it. It sounds stupid. I've had this thing 10, 12 years. It's awesome. This one is made from Coil Hose Pneumatics. Picked it up from a tool shop. It was probably 30 bucks, which I thought was ridiculous, but that was the only one they had, and I'm happy I bought it. Tornador. You've probably seen videos on it already. This is a genuine one. It's basically a blowgun, only it flies around in a tight circle. So it's focused, but then it gets kind of a spread. Really good for removing stubborn animal hair, most notably from fabric. But it's always just great for, picking up stuff that you weren't able to get with the blowgun. Just be careful around stickers and stuff that you don't actually want to come off. It will remove them. For the drill, I have these, I think they're drill brush. Yeah, drill brush attachments. They come in various hardness, softness of the bristles. Some are 2 grades. I think this is soft here, and then it's a little bit harder of a bristle over on this side. And they have different designs. Like this one's better for larger surfaces, obviously. Use it with my my Milwaukee, and they're awesome, right? So I'll use that either for the seats or any of the surfaces in the car in combination with a soap, or this is actually an antibacterial. I don't even know where I got this from, but I diluted it. It's an antibacterial, and then I'll use soap on top of it. So those are the tools of the trade. I'm going to go attack the car with this right now, and then we'll do time lapse and update at the end. Wasn't too bad. So the inside is finally clean. It's ready for the installation. I'm going to cover that in the next video. So like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.